What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Saturday, July 12th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, we still got a couple games going on, but we're not doing too bad. We had the Guardians at minus 130 there in game one of their doubleheader, and that was a nice 4-2 win behind 6 solids inning there from Logan Allen, and the bullpen was flawless there from Cleveland, so a good look in that one. We also had Boston at minus 105. That was an insane game, ended in a 5-4 walk-off win there for the Red Sox. We will definitely take it. We've got the Mets still live here at minus 135. They're currently up 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning, so we'll see if that one works out. We had the Astros at minus 130. That was a 7-3 loss there for the Astros. McCullers Jr. was terrible, and while Leiter wasn't great either, the Astros bullpen really let us down in that game. So that was a disappointing one, but we've still got the Dodgers at plus 105 as our dog of the day, but it was an underdog that we loved, and I hope you guys kind of stayed away from it because that one's looking real bad right now. We did, however, have the no-run first inning there in that Seattle-Detroit game, and yeah, at minus 165, not a bad price on the lock of the day, and it ended up being an insane 12-3 win there for Seattle, with Skubal taking the loss and looking pretty bad, but no runs scored in the first innings means we get to cash that bet. So looking like a pretty positive day overall, or likely to be a positive day. We've got a ton of games to cover here on a Saturday slate that's pretty early game heavy, so that's why you guys are seeing the return of the early uploads. So let's go ahead and jump in right off the bat here. We're looking at the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Cubs come into this game fresh off an 11-0 loss there in game one of this series. Not great. Bellinger hitting 3 home runs. Pretty helpful there for the Yankees. The Cubs will hand the ball in this one to Matthew Boyd, who's 9-3 on the year, a 2.52 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed there against the Cardinals. He's looked excellent over his last 5 starts. The Cubs are 4-1 over that span, but going up against the Yankees could be a little bit of a different situation. But overall, we've seen him look very good this season, even against some pretty good opponents. So not necessarily expecting Boyd to have a terrible time out there. Now the Cubs bullpen obviously coming off a pretty rough day, but overall this season, it's been a very solid bullpen unit there for Chicago. So while they might be coming off a bad game, I don't expect them to necessarily just like go to pieces and suck for this entire series. So we'll see what happens, but I tend to think they're going to be okay out there. The Cubs offense, a no-show there in game one, getting shut out 11-0. Not the norm for a team that's been very reliable at the plate this season. They're second in the majors in runs scored this year. They are 7th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 326 clip. They are 7th in batting average. They're also 2nd in the majors in slugging percentage. So a lot of reasons to think the Cubs could bounce back here, but one big reason to think they might not is who they're going to have to face here. The Yankees come into this game on a 5-game winning streak, and they're handing the ball to Max Fried, who's 11-2 on the year, a 2.27 ERA. His last couple of starts, though, I'm not going to lie, guys, he's looked a little bit gettable, and those are starts against Toronto and the Mets, so not the worst, teams at the plate ever, but I mean, 6 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs allowed there against Toronto, gave up a couple of home runs in a game. The Yankees eventually lost 12-5, and then against the Mets, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs in that one. That was a 6-4 win for the Yankees, but not the sharpest stuff there for Max Fried. So we'll see what he looks like here against the Cubs. Not the easiest nut to crack here once again. So maybe Max Fried hitting a little bit of a rough patch here. So we'll see what he gets done. Obviously, the Yankees bullpen has not been amazing here down the stretch, all the way up to a 4.12 bullpen ERA. That's not what you're hoping for, obviously, if you're a Yankees fan. And the offense, though, it hasn't gone anywhere, guys. 11, 6, 9, 10, and 6 runs scored over their last few games. Definitely swinging the bats pretty well, especially Bellinger coming off that 3-home run day. They are 3rd in the majors in runs scored. They are 6th in the majors in batting average, 1st in on-base percentage. So, yeah, a lot of very positive things for the Yankees at the plate right now. But the pitching staff, we'll see what goes on. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the odds makers like the Yankees a good amount. They've got the Cubs at plus 140, the Yankees at minus 165, a total of 8.5 out there. The Cubs at 25-23 on the road, 24-20-2 to the over on the road. The Yankees are 30-17 at home, 27-19-1 to the under at home. In terms of that total there of 8.5, I don't think it would be insane for you to take under 8.5 in this game, but I also think, and this feels a little bit gross, but I'm going to be siding just slightly towards the Cubs at plus 140, and that might go on the list for a potential dog of the day situation because I think they're going to bounce back here. I think the Yankees bullpen is a big concern right now. I think we'll see Boyd go out there and have a pretty good start for the Cubs. Max Fried has looked hittable recently, no doubt about it, so we'll see, but definitely leaning towards the Cubs here at plus 140. Next up, guys, we've got the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. Smash that thumbs up button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing the no-run first inning on Game 1 of this series. Now, here in Game 2, the Mariners are going to hand the ball to George Kirby, hoping they can pick up where they left off. They won Game 1 12-3. Kirby comes into this one 3-4 on the season, a 4.22 ERA. His last start, he shut out the Pirates over 6 1/3 innings and struck out 9. It was eventually a 1-0 win. The Mariners are also 4-1 over his last 5 starts. He's looked very, very sharp. We'll see what he can do here against the Tigers. Not a team he's faced yet this season, but I'm expecting pretty good stuff here from Kirby. The Mariners bullpen has not been a problem in general this year, a 3.71 bullpen ERA. Very steady stuff there. The offense, 12, 5, 6, 3, and 1 over their last few. Obviously not one of the best offenses in the majors, but when you've got Cal Raleigh out there hitting 38 home runs here in the first half, they're 13th in the majors in runs scored, 12th in the majors in slugging percentage. This is a pretty solid team at the plate, especially compared to how bad they were last season. So we'll see what they do here against the Tigers, who come to this one losers of 2 in a row. They are 59 and 36 on the year, so not exactly struggling. They'll hand the ball here to Casey Mize, who's 9-2 this season, a 2.63 ERA. His last start, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed there against Cleveland. It was eventually a 1-0 win. The Tigers are 4-1 over his last 5 starts, and he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of those outings. He's looked pretty nuts this year. He did face Seattle back at the very, very beginning of April, so super early in the season, and only gave up a single hit over 5 2/3 innings. So that's pretty good history. Doesn't get much better than that. I'm expecting Mize to be very good out there as well. The Detroit bullpen, some struggles down the stretch here. A 3.90 bullpen ERA, not as good as they were in the early goings. The offense, 3, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 1 over the last few. Not up to their normal standards this season, where they're 6th in the majors in runs scored and 9th in batting average. So swinging some cooler bats coming into this game. Now, looking at the numbers here, the Mariners are plus 110, the Tigers are minus 130, a total of 8 out there. Seattle is a 500 team on the road. They are 29, 18, and 1 to the over on the road. Detroit, 32 and 16 at home, 26, 19, and 3 to the under at home. First up, I like under in this game. I think under 8 is very reasonable. I also definitely think taking no run first inning in this game is very, very live. Once again here in Game 2, we saw a lot of offense in Game 1. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case here in Game 2. So definitely unders seem reasonable. In a game that I think is going to be super close, you might want to lean towards the underdog here at plus 110, but not a side that I think has tons of value. Hey guys, hopping in here with a shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB and UFC picks with NFL and college football coming up before you know it. Major League Baseball, guys, that is the story. That is the thing of the hour. That's what we want to talk about because it has been a transcendent run. Get in the comments and check, guys. You're going to see a ton of people just raving about these premium picks because our guy did it once again. He went 4-0 yesterday. Like, this run is basically unprecedented. He's 10-0 over the last 3 days, guys. Yesterday, on July 11th, he went 4-0. He had the Brewers as a 2-unit play, no run first inning there as a 2-unit play in the Pirates-Twins game. He had the Red Sox as a 2-unit play. That was a close one, but still a win. And he had the Atlanta Braves as a 1-unit play as well. A perfect 4-0 day. That's after a 3-0 day yesterday and a 3-0 day plus a rainout there on the 9th. That brings him to a combined 10-0 with one push or rainout or whatever over the last 3 days. Absolutely insane stuff, guys. Click the link in the description to go over to StumpTheSpread.com. You can see all of our pricing options. You can check out the premium picks over there. You can also check out the free picks. There are exclusive free picks posted there every single day. You can also use our free-to-use bet size calculator. Also, that's where you got to go to get on the free email newsletter, guys. It's great information straight to your inbox every single day. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is set up a free account. All we need is your name and your email address. That's it. And it's one email straight to your inbox every single day with free information on, there'll be at least one free pick in there, maybe 2. There'll be parlays included in those emails, information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR. There'll even be some UFC stuff in there, tennis stuff in there. So Great information straight to your inbox every single day. But the thing that's really on fire right now are those premium MLB picks. We've got a premium capper over there with many years of experience, and he uses some very sophisticated tools and algorithms that take a crazy amount of data points into consideration to make his predictions. And like you've been seeing on the screen, guys, they are absolutely could not be hotter right now. It's insane. So yeah, you can look back in past videos. I'm usually not going on these weird long rants about this, but this is absolutely getting off the rails crazy right now. So get over there, check that out. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, sign up for a YouTube channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their names up on screen in every video, but also get their names entered into the members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie here on July 14th. We gave away one on the 7th, giving away one on the 14th. We'll be giving one away every 7 days this entire month. So definitely get signed up for that if you're interested. But guys, we've got a ton of games to cover here on a pretty loaded slate. So let's go ahead and dive back in. We've got the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Marlins come into this game 42-51 on the year. That little hot streak seems to be over as they've now dropped 3 in a row. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Jansen Junk, who, despite having a great name, has kind of backed it up. I mean, at least his last start was great there against the Reds. 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs allowed in a 5-1 win. He's looked pretty solid over his last 5 starts, struggled a little bit against the Giants, but overall has looked very good. So we'll see what he can do here against the Orioles. The Marlins bullpen, I mean, it's not one of the best. A 4.07 bullpen ERA, though, not a complete disaster. The offense has fallen off aggressively their last few games. I mean, 2-0-2 over their last 3. They're currently 19th in the majors in runs scored. They are 10th in batting average, 18th in on-base percentage. Not a premium level offense, but, not completely bottom of the barrel. So we'll see what they can get done here, guys, as they go on the road to take on the Orioles, who are 43-50 on the season. Winners of 3 in a row. They're trying to turn things around. They'll hand the ball here to Trevor Rogers, who's 2-0 on the season, a 1.57 ERA. No turnaround necessary for this guy. He has looked great this year. Last time out, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed against the Atlanta Braves in a 2-1 win. I'm sure his confidence level here about to face the Marlins is pretty freaking high. Now, the Baltimore bullpen, not great. Bottom 6 in the majors, a 4.50 bullpen ERA. That is definitely something that's held them back a little bit, but the real story for this team has been the departure of their crazy offense. I mean, they're currently 21st in the majors in runs scored. They are 22nd in batting average. They are 15th in slugging percentage. Gone is that crazy dominant Orioles team of last season. So we'll see what they can come up with in this one, guys. The Marlins are plus 135. The Orioles are minus 160. A total of 9 out there. Miami is 22-24 on the road. 25-20-1 to the over on the road. Baltimore 22-23 at home, 23-20-2 to the over at home. In general in this game, guys, I think it's a good spot to side with the Orioles. It seems like the Marlins are struggling a little bit here. I do expect Junk to be pretty decent on the mound, but I think Rogers is going to be very, very good. And the Baltimore bullpen, I guess, in the Marlins bullpen is a little bit of a wash, so this is more of a slight lean than anything major. Next on the docket, we're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Dodgers are actually trying to dig themselves out of this hole. They've got it all the way down to 8-6, so only down by 2 runs in the bottom of the 6. So our Dodgers pick as our underdog of the day is still alive here in game, what is this, game 2 of this series? Yeah, of course, they're going to hand the ball to Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani obviously having an amazing season at the plate and has looked pretty good on the mound, showing all of his normal stuff, like doesn't look like he's having any problems ramping back up. Not going deep into games yet, but that will be something that comes, down the stretch. His last amount, 2 very, very good innings. The problem is if he only pitches a couple, maybe 3 innings at the absolute most, that puts a ton of pressure on a pretty terrible Dodgers bullpen that is bottom, 8 in the majors, a 4.44 bullpen ERA. Not usually going to get the job done. Also, I mean, it looks like the Dodgers offense is snapping out of it here in their current game, but they haven't been hitting the ball incredibly well, which is kind of odd for a team that is first in the majors in runs scored, second in on-base percentage, and 4th in batting average. So maybe they're going to be back on track here at the plate. We'll see. I'm kind of expecting them to be a little bit better here. We'll see what they can do on the road against these Giants, who are 51-43 on the season. They're locked in that pretty close game right now. They're going to hand the ball to Landon Roop in this one. He's 6-5 on the year, a 3.39 ERA. His last time out, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and a 3-1 win against the Phillies. His last time on the mound against the Dodgers, though, did not go that way. 1 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 6 earned runs allowed. Indy walked 5. So Clearly an outing where he didn't have his best stuff, but still, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. So we'll see what he can do. Obviously, the Giants' bullpen's been excellent this year. A 3.17 bullpen ERA, though, starting to come back to the pack a little bit, and the offense has been a struggle for them all year long. I mean, they came into this series fresh off of getting shut out by the Phillies, and right now they're 20th in the majors in runs scored. They are 25th in batting average. Just not exactly, a team that you can trust at the plate. So looking at the numbers here, the Dodgers are minus 140. The Giants are plus 120. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Dodgers are 21-21 on the road, 22-20 to the under on the road. The Giants are 27-18 at home, 27-18 to the under at home. I actually think this is a pretty decent spot to look at over. Obviously, we're seeing a ton of runs here in game 1 of this series. I think Ohtani will be good in whatever innings he pitches, but Roop has some bad history against the Dodgers, and once that Dodgers bullpen gets out there, I'm expecting the Giants to get on the board. So yeah, this is definitely a spot where I am looking at the over more than anything else. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Rockies come into this one fresh off a 3-2 win in game 1 of this series, so we'll see if they can back that up here, handing the ball to Bradley Blaylock, who's 0-2 on the year, a 12.94 ERA, so not great. A lot of that is due to the fact he gave up 12 earned runs on 13 hits over 3 2/3 innings in a 21-0 loss the last time he was on the big league mound. Now, that was all the way back on May 10th. Maybe the kid is going to be, bringing some new stuff and looking better and having a higher confidence level out there in the majors now, but I, for one, am not necessarily willing to bank on that. The Rockies' bullpen's been bad this year, bottom 5 in the majors, and the offense has been nothing special, obviously. I mean, they're coming off a game they scored 3. They are 27th in the majors in runs scored, last in the majors in on-base percentage. Not a lot to say here, guys. This team is pretty terrible. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Reds, who, coming off a loss to the Rockies, doesn't get much worse than that. They'll hand the ball here to Brady Singer, who's 7-7 this season, a 4.32 ERA. His last 5 starts, he's been lights out in 4 of them, but, he did have a kind of a hiccup there against the Yankees. Also, the Reds are only 1-4 over that span, so not giving him a ton of run support. We'll see what he looks like here against the Rockies. Obviously, should be a pretty easy team to face. I think Singer's going to be good out there. I think the Reds' bullpen won't have too much trouble, although they haven't been great here down the stretch. Offensively, Cincinnati has hit a little bit of a bump in the road, although, they weren't terrible against the Marlins, so I'm expecting them to definitely bounce back in this game. They are 9th in the majors in runs scored, but I think a more accurate portrayal of where this offense is at is the fact they're 16th in on-base percentage and 18th in batting average. So we'll see how things work out here. The odds makers have them as massive favorites here at home against the Rockies, who are plus 235. The Reds are minus 290, a total of 10 in this game. The Rockies are 12-36 on the road, 29-18-1 to the under on the road. The Reds are 26-22 at home, 27-17-4 to the under at home. If I wasn't so worried about the Reds scoring 10 or 11 runs all on their own in this game, I would consider the under, but that's why I'm not leaning towards it. I'll take the Reds here at minus 290 as a potential lock of the day. You could also take them minus 1.5, but yeah, fading Bradley Blaylock here and fading that Rockies bullpen seems like a good idea. Rolling right along here, guys, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Rays have lost each of the first 2 games of this series, and each of them was by a single run each, so that's kind of brutal. The Rays are going to hand the ball in this one to Shane Baz, who's 8-4 in the year, a 4.34 ERA. His last start, kind of mediocre there at the Tigers, 6 innings, 7 hits, but only 3 earned runs allowed, so not terrible. Both of those last 2 starts, though, were losses for the Rays, who have had a little bit of a rough time lately in terms of his history against Boston this year. He had a decent start against them back on the 9th of last month, but 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, nothing too insane. So we'll see what he looks like this time facing the Red Sox. Now, the bullpen for Tampa Bay this year had been pretty solid. They've struggled a bit recently, though, up to a 3.96 bullpen ERA. Not exactly what you want to see. Offensively, they've slipped a bit, 2-4, 3, 7, 2, and 1 over their last few games. This is still a very good team at the plate. They're just not stringing things together like they were. They're 2nd in batting average, 7th in runs scored, so I think they'll pop out of it at some point. Will it be in this game, though? Might be a tough spot because they're taking on a Red Sox team that is absolutely red hot right now. They're up to 8 straight wins. They're going to hand the ball to Garrett Crochet in this game, who's 9-4 this season, a 2.39 ERA. His last start, 5 innings, 9 hits, 2 earned runs against Washington, so not an amazing start, but good enough to get the job done. The Red Sox are 4-1 over his last 5 starts. Even that terrible start he had against the Reds. So we'll see which version of Crochet we get here. I'm expecting him to be pretty good here against the Rays. He hasn't faced Tampa Bay this year somehow. That's kind of interesting. I would have assumed he would have, but yeah, he has not. So we'll see how that goes. The Red Sox bullpen's been very good, down to a 3.47 bullpen ERA, and the offense is firing on all cylinders. 5, 4, 10, 10, and 9 over their last few games. They're fourth in the majors in runs scored. They're eighth in batting average. This team, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay out there, it looks like. So, looking at the numbers for this game, I'm a little bit surprised. The Rays are plus 155. The Red Sox are minus 190. There's a total of 8 in this one. The Rays are 22-20 on the road, 23-19 to the under on the road. The Red Sox are 30-20 at home, 25-23-2 to the under at home. This is another spot where I think there's some value on the underdog. I like Shane Baz out there, and obviously I like Crochet as well, but he's looked a little bit gettable lately. I guess you could say the same thing about Baz, but if I'm expecting this to be a low-scoring, close game, taking the team that's plus over 1.5 seems pretty reasonable here. Next up, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Guardians come into this game fresh off a 5-4 loss there at the White Sox in Game 2 of that doubleheader. So good thing we were on Cleveland in Game 1. Here in Game 3 of this series, they're going to hand the ball to Tanner Bybee, who's 4-9 on the year, a 4.35 ERA. His last couple of starts, and honestly 3 out of his last 4 starts, have not looked great. He has faced some tougher teams, but really hasn't seemed to have his A-plus stuff. So we'll see if he can get, have a little bit of a get-right spot here against the White Sox. The Cleveland bullpen has been good at some points, but not so good at others. A 3.83 bullpen ERA isn't a disaster. Offensively, they have had their problems this year. Jose Ramirez is heating up a bit. I mean, he's on 17 home runs now. He's batting .298. As a team, though, they're 26th in the majors in runs scored and 29th in on-base percentage. So not exactly a team that's killing it at the plate. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the White Sox, who, did come up with a win. Mark Burley's statue is just unveiled. That was pretty cool. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Sean Burke, who's 4-8 this season, a 4.40 ERA. His last start, not great against Toronto. 5 innings, 6 hits, and 6 earned runs allowed in an 8-4 loss. He had been on kind of a nice little run there. We'll see if he can pick that back up going up against Cleveland, but I'm not going to be expecting any miracles. The last time he faced the Guardians, 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs in a 3-2 loss. So we'll see what happens here. The White Sox bullpen, not nearly as bad as you would expect, and a bullpen ERA of just under 4. And the offense, it's terrible, guys. They're coming off a 5-run game, which is nice, but they are last in the majors in runs scored. They are last in batting average as well. So not expecting miracles there. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Guardians are minus 150. The White Sox are plus 123. Total of 8.5. Cleveland, 24-25 on the road, 26-19-4 to the under on the road. The White Sox are 20-27 at home, 24-20-3 to the over at home. Generally speaking, I'm going to lean towards the Guardians in this game. Minus 150 isn't a very appealing price, I'm not going to lie, so it's probably not going anywhere near the pinned comment, but I do think that's the side you want to be on, and maybe this could be a bounce back spot for Tanner Bybee. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. Smash that thumbs up button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing the New York Mets there yesterday. That was a nice 8-3 win for them. It was close for a little while, but they end up taking advantage there down the stretch. They're going to hand the ball here in Game 2 of this series to Frankie Montas, who is 1-1 this year, a 6.14 ERA. His last start, and this is only his 4th start of the year, 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them were earned, and gave up a couple of home runs in a 12-6 win there over the Yankees. But yeah, struggling against the Yankees and struggling against the Pirates over his last couple of starts, not somebody that I have a lot of faith in. And the Mets bullpen, while it's been excellent at some points this year, a 3.86 bullpen ERA at time of recording, not really looking like that Mets bullpen that we remember from the early part of the season where they looked so dominant. So we'll see what they can do here to make up for the pitching situation at the plate. And they're coming off a game where they scored 8, which is a good step in the right direction after a little bit of a slump. Obviously, Pete Alonso's done good stuff this year. Juan Soto seems like he's figuring it out. The Mets are 14th in the majors in runs scored, though, and 20th in batting average. Not the kind of offensive production I would assume they're hoping for with the kind of payroll this team is dealing with. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Royals, who did lose Game 1 of this series, but had won 4 straight before that. They'll hand the ball in this one to Michael Lorenzen, who is 5-8 on the year, a 4.61 ERA. His last start, 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed while striking out 7 there against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So excellent stuff in that game. We'll see if he can back that up. I mean, going 7 innings is pretty deep into the game for somebody like Lorenzen. The last time he went 7 innings, he didn't do too hot in the next start. So we're a little bit worried about Lorenzen on the mound in this one. The Royals bullpen is not something we're ever going to worry about apparently this season, but the offense is a big problem for this team. Maybe they've looked slightly better recently, but 28th in the majors in runs scored, 24th in slugging percentage. They've scored 3, 4, 4, 9, 4, and 1 over their last few games. It's not a powerhouse, of offense out there for the Royals. So looking at the numbers, the Mets are minus 130. The Royals are plus 110. There's a total of 9.5 in this game. The Mets are 20 and 27 on the road. They are a 26, 20, and 1 to the under team on the road. The Royals are 23 and 24 at home. They are 30 and 17 to the under at home. Despite not loving these two pitchers, I think you could talk me into under 9.5 in this game. I don't think that's too crazy. In terms of a side, I don't mind fading Frankie Montas here. He just has not been very good. I worry about the Royals' offense being good enough to take advantage here, but give me Kansas City at plus 110 as a significant lean and a game that has an outside chance to be our dog of the day. Next on the docket, we've got the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Nationals took the 8-3 loss there yesterday against the Brewers, so slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Brewers there yesterday. Now, the Nationals are going to hand the ball in this one to Shinizuke Ogasawara. He comes into this game 0-1, a 13.50 ERA. It's only his second start of the year, guys. The first one didn't go great. He got shelled by the Red Sox, but he's got a chance to bounce back here. And it's got to be a little bit difficult to translate, to switch over here to the other side of the pond and to get used to playing, in this kind of situation. So we'll see what he looks like out there. And not like the Nationals are amazing. Obviously, the Washington bullpen, atrocious. The worst bullpen in the majors. The offense, not looking great recently. 3, 1, 8, 2, and 4 runs scored over their last few games. They're not killing it. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored, 19th in slugging percentage, 20th in on-base percentage. Just not the kind of offense that you feel like you can really trust to put up enough runs to, outweigh any sort of, less than stellar pitching performance. So we'll see what the Nationals do here on the road against the Brewers, who come into this one winners of 5 in a row. They're only a single game back of the Chicago Cubs now in the NL Central. They're going to hand the ball to Brandon Woodruff. He comes into this game 1-0 on the season, a 1.50 ERA. This is only his second start of the year, but his first one went pretty great. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run allowed there against Miami. He also struck out 8 in that game, which was eventually a 3-1 win. Very good stuff there. The Brewers bullpen, an ERA of 4, is showing slight signs of improvement. It's not going to be an amazing bullpen, guys, but it's looking, playable out there at least. And the offense, 8, 3, 3, 9, 3, 2, and 6 over their last few games is not amazing, but it's also not terrible. It's good enough if your pitching is going to look decent, and it's looked decent recently. And over the course of the year, the Brewers are somehow 8th in the majors in runs scored. They're 14th in batting average. I've seen people in the comments saying it's due to their excellent base running is what's helping them score so many runs. Sure, but this isn't necessarily an offensive powerhouse. But looking at the numbers for this game, they're getting treated like one. The Nationals are plus 200. The Brewers are minus 260. Total of 8.5 in this game. The Nationals are 20 and 28 on the road, 24, 21, and 3 to the over on the road. Milwaukee is 31 and 17 at home. They are 29, 18, and 1 to the under at home. I'm definitely leaning towards the Brewers here. Minus 260 is a little bit expensive, but this could definitely be our lock of the day. I love Woodruff out there. The Nationals pitching situation is pretty bad, even if their starter is good. The bullpen's been so terrible. So definitely give me a good look here at the Brewers at minus 260. Next up, guys, we've got the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Rangers come into this game fresh off a 7-3 win there in Game 1 of this series. They're going to hand the ball in Game 2 to Jacob deGrom, who is 9-2 on the year, a 2.29 ERA. He's been pretty great. Now, his last couple of starts, maybe not completely, totally dominant. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs against the Angels in his last start is borderline concerning. Start for that was pretty good against Baltimore. And in general this year, he's been excellent and really, really helped out this Rangers team. We'll see if he can bounce back from a rough outing there against the Angels and do a good job against the Astros, a team that he faced back in mid-May and went 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 7, and walked 1 in a 1-0 win. So definitely expecting good stuff from deGrom. In general, always going to expect good stuff from this Rangers bullpen. 4th best in the majors right now, a 3.37 bullpen ERA. The offense is actually popping off. They've scored 7, 11, 8, and 13 over their last 4 games. Crazy numbers for a team that's 23rd in the majors in runs scored, 25th in on-base percentage, 26th in slugging percentage, and all those numbers have been, improving. So, yeah, seeing good stuff from the Rangers bats. We'll see if they can continue to hit the ball here going up against the Astros, who have now lost 4 in a row. Starting to get a little bit concerning here. They'll hand the ball to Framber Valdez, hoping he can stop the bleeding. He's 10-4 on the season, a 2.90 ERA. His last start, not his best effort, but it was against the Dodgers. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs against a team like the Dodgers. Isn't god-awful. He'd looked lights out over his few starts before that, and the Astros are 5-0 over his last 5 starts. So we'll see what he does here against the Rangers. He faced them back in mid-May. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and it was eventually a 4-3 win there for the Astros. So see what we get out of him. Obviously, the Houston bullpen this season in general has been very good, a 3.30 bullpen ERA. What's usually held this team back when they've struggled has been their offense, but it hasn't been terrible lately. I mean, 3, 2, 6, and 5 over their last 4 games. You expect to win 1 or 2 of those at least. So we'll see if they can get something going at the plate. They are still the top batting average team in the majors. They're also 8th in on base percentage. So yeah, they got to get things figured out here, and maybe they'll do it. Looking at the numbers, the Rangers are plus 110 despite DeGrom being on the mound. To me, that paints a pretty bleak picture of what the odds makers, think of his struggles here recently. The Astros are minus 130, a total of only 6.5 out there. The Rangers 20-29 on the road, 26-22-1 to the under on the road. Houston 32-17 at home, a dominant home team, guys. 28-20-1 to the under at home. I definitely don't know if under 6.5 is in play, but I think no run first inning, despite it being a bad price, is definitely in play. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean just slightly here towards the Rangers at plus 110. Just, they've been playing, I got to give them credit, at least a little bit of credit. They've been playing well lately, and the Astros haven't, but not a game where I have tons of confidence. Next up, guys, we got the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. The Phillies 54-40 on the season. They lost game 1 here 4-2. They're going to hand the ball to Zach Wheeler in this game. He's 9-3 on the season, a 2.17 ERA. His last time out, he went 9 innings, a full 9-inning start, gave up 1 hit. It was a solo home run, and he struck out 12. So yeah, very, very good stuff there from Zach Wheeler. A close miss for sure, but yeah, he's throwing the ball great. He's been very, very good. The last time he faced the Padres was back on the 30th of June, and he went 8 innings, gave up 6 hits, no runs, and struck out 10. So he's getting to run it back here against the Padres. Am I worried about arm fatigue? Yes, I most certainly am. But bro has looked incredible. Now, the Phillies bullpen's a problem. A 4.36 bullpen ERA clearly has in the bottom 8 or 9 bullpens in the majors. The offense has not been as reliable as you would wish if you were a Phillies fan. They're currently 10th in the majors in runs scored and 5th in batting average, but we've seen these guys be all over the place. Schwarber, 30 home runs. Very good stuff, but we've seen injuries, we've seen all kinds of weird stuff for the Phillies this season. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Padres, who are 51-43 this season. They have won 3 out of their last 4. They're going to hand the ball here to Yu Darvish, who's 0-1 on this season. He's had some injury problems. He's missed tons of time. A 4.91 ERA. His last start, guys, that was his first start of the season. Yeah, it's been an injury-riddled season because he's missed most of it. 3 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed there against the Diamondbacks. We'll see what he looks like here against the Phillies. I'm not expecting miracles in terms of the entire bullpen situation for the Padres. It's been pretty good. A 3.28 bullpen ERA has been very impressive, and it's something they've maintained effectively the entire season. So looking at the offense, that's really been the problem, guys. 4, 4, 2, 1, 3, and 4 over their last few games. They're currently 24th in the majors in runs scored. They are 25th in slugging percentage. This team just not very good at the plate. There's no great way to sugarcoat that. So looking at the numbers here, the Phillies are minus 150. The Padres are plus 125, a total of 7.5 in this game. The Phillies, a slightly over 500 team on the road, 30-16-1 to the under on the road. The Padres 29-17 at home, 27-18-1 to the under at home. With Yu Darvish on the mound, I'm not interested in any total that's not an over here, but I think the best value in this game is to just take the Phillies at minus 150. Zach Wheeler's on the mound. I think the odds makers are worried about arm fatigue for him here, and that's a valid concern, but dude has just looked lights out, and I'm not about to fade him right now. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Diamondbacks and Angels are actually playing right now, headed into the bottom of the 9th inning with the score tied at 5 apiece. So going to be an exciting one down the stretch there. The Diamondbacks will hand the ball in this game to Zach Gallen, who's 7-9 on the year, a 5.15 ERA, but his last 2 starts have looked excellent. He dominated the Giants over 7 innings, then dominated the Padres over 6 innings. Both of those games were wins for the Diamondbacks, and Arizona is 4-1 over his last 5 starts. So very respectable stuff. We'll see what he can do here against the Angels, a team that he has not faced yet this year. Now, the Diamondbacks bullpen's been a huge hurdle to overcome, an ERA coming out of the pen of nearly 5 at the moment, and the offense, that's where this team hangs its hat, guys. They're 5th in runs scored. They are 12th in batting average, but 4th in slugging percentage. They have a very scary lineup out there, and I kind of fully expect them to find a way to generate some runs here against the Angels. So we'll see what happens, going up against the Angels who come into this game. 45-48 on the year, much better than I would have expected overall. They'll hand the ball in this one to Yusei Kikuchi, who is 3-6 this season, a 3.02 ERA. His last start, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He's been decent, just not dominant, not quite as good as I would have anticipated. So we'll see what he can do here against the Diamondbacks, a team that he has not faced yet this year. No, he has not faced yet this year. Now, whenever Kikuchi comes out of the game, then you've got the Angels bullpen, which has been one of the worst 3 or 4 bullpens in the majors all year long. So that's a problem. The offense for this team has actually been kind of good down the stretch, weirdly enough. I mean, they're 11th in the majors in slugging percentage, 17th in runs scored. Not the scariest lineup, but they can find a way to generate some runs. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the odds makers have this as effectively a coin flip. Both teams listed at -110, a total of 8.5. Arizona's a 500 road team, a slight over team on the road. The Angels are a 500 home team and a slight over team at home. You could definitely talk me into over 8.5 in this game. I think that's extremely live in this spot. In terms of a side, I'll take the Diamondbacks as a small lean, but nothing from this game, guys, is making it into the pinned comment. Last but not least here, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The Athletics and the Blue Jays are actually still playing right now. Toronto is up 7-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. So we'll see if they can hold on. They're going to hand the ball in, game 2 of this series? Yeah, to Kevin Gausman, who's 6-6 on the year, a 4.13 ERA. His last start, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs against the Angels. We'll see what he looks like here against the Athletics. Over his last 3 starts, he's been excellent. So, going up against the Athletics, a team that got knocked him around a little bit in early June, might be a good chance for redemption. Now, the Toronto bullpen's been very good this year. No major concerns there. A 3.58 bullpen ERA. They've been very reliable. The offense, they had a bad game 3 there against the White Sox, but overall, this season has been excellent, especially here down the stretch. They're all the way up to 3rd in batting average. They are 3rd in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 330 clip. This team has some hitters. Not a ton of scary power, but they can definitely find a way to get some runs across the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Blue Jays are -150. The Athletics are +130. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the Athletics real quick before we skip them, guys. The Athletics come into this game. They did just win 2 out of 3 against the Braves. They're going to hand the ball to Jacob Lopez, who's 2-5 on the year, a 4.26 ERA. His last start got knocked around by the Giants. Start for that got knocked around by the Rays. Maybe he can bounce back here against Toronto. Not the easiest team to bounce back against, though, so we'll have to see. Obviously, the Athletics bullpen's been one of the worst 2 bullpens in the majors all year long. That's not a great look. And the offense, that's been where this team can kind of try to hang its hat. And with Jacob Wilson, Brent Rooker, and Tyler Soderson, you got some decent bats out there, but they somehow have managed to not be an offensive powerhouse. Only 17th in the majors in runs scored and 13th in batting average. So, yeah, looking at the numbers, like I was saying, Blue Jays -150, Athletics +130, total of 10.5. Toronto 22-23 on the road, basically a 500 over/under team on the road. The Athletics actually been terrible at home, 18-30 at home this year, 26-19-3 to the over at home. I'm not going to take over 10.5, although I could kind of wrap my head around it. I'm going to lean towards the Blue Jays here at -150, but I'm not sure if I like Gausman on the mound in this matchup enough to put it in the pinned comment. Guys, that's all the games we have here today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you're clicking that link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com and check out those insanely bonkers level hot MLB picks that we've been pumping out over there. It's very, very good stuff. Also, get on that free email list. It's free information straight to your inbox every single day. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.